Hey y'all, we're back out in the garage. Just going to give you a quick going through of the bleeding the brakes here. I got everything set up. All I did is take a long paint stick and jam it in there. It's, you know, just to make sure it holds this thing up. There's going to be no pressure on it. I had zip ties holding these two vent tubes together, so you cut those loose. Make sure there's no dirt and grunkus on them. What we're going to do is pour the fluid in here. And then there's going to be an air pocket here, right? So we're going to squeeze it with pliers, or so with our fingers, really. And you'll see all the air bubbles come out until there's no more bubbles. That means it's fluid from wherever the level is all the way through. Then we can go ahead and crack each bleeder and just let it gravity bleed. Again, I call it push and brake fluid, but we're actually just letting it gravity feed. It's the same thing basically they do with the CIK carts. The difference is we have a master cylinder. Those CIK carts have a slave cylinder. They don't have a reservoir. They don't have a valving system that shuts off the reservoir and only pushes fluid. It's just a slave cylinder. They can only push the amount of fluid that's in them. And the problem with those brakes is as they use brake pad, you know, they're going to end up. That's why you've always got to bleed those CIK brakes. Because as the pads wear, the fluid drops down because it's not a reservoir. It eventually could get to a point to where you got nothing. So there is the issue with the CIK stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit you down here. I want to show you something real quick. I hope you can see it. I'm going to get a light. I want you to look at the level before I even get started. The level of the brake fluid there. I hope you can see that. I'm going to bring you right in. It's right there. Can you see that line, folks? That's about where you want it when you're all done. You don't want it any higher than that, because I'll show you what's going to happen. When you give it a little brake pedal, it's going to go, oh, look at her go. She's going up, 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 up. And that's all the way down. So it rose up a good inch. When the brake fluid gets hot, it's going to expand up this hose all by itself. So you want to keep it just so you can see the level of it with the brake pedal in a relaxed position. And then that'll give you enough space to do what you need to do. And enough fluid. Now, why don't I use the remote reservoir anymore? Because the damn lids would create vacuum. They say they have a vent to them, but they also have that rubber bellows in there. For some reason, it's a Brembo remote reservoir, and it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't vent to the atmosphere. That's why we use this here. There's plenty of other ones online. Do I want it? No, hell no, I'm not doing it. Then you got to make a bracket to hold the damn thing. Forget it. Nope. So we're going with this here. This is what works for us. It's what we've been doing for years. So I'm going to go ahead and run you through the process. Let me sit you right here so you can watch. I just put a little hole in the tin foil and then a little breather hole just so it doesn't go hog wild. I hate this brake fluid, makes a mess, man. It's not like oil. See, it's dripping already. I'm already making a great big mess. So I hate doing brakes. What a pain in the rear. We're going to fill this thing right up to the top. Put the cap back on. Now, let me get my up-close glasses on, and I'll show you how we can burp. You'll see the air being burped out of here. You see, this is empty, right? See, there's the bubbles, and it's just pinch the line, let it go, let it loose. You see the fluid level coming up? Just a little burp, burp, burp. Just about there. And a couple extra just to be sure. We're completely clear. No more air bubbles coming up through there. Now at this point, we'll crack the bleeders, put the lines in, and just let it drain. You'll watch it drain down. Here, I'll put you... Here, I'll show you this here. See, rising right out of there already. Look at that, folks. All by itself. No air bubbles in there, no nothing. I use clean containers to drain this stuff into, just so you can get an idea by looking at it what's coming out of your system. Right, and you'll see once we drain this stuff down and we're happy with what's going on here, fluid-wise, getting new fluid in, we're convinced after we put a good 2 of those down through this thing. When we show you what's in here, you'll be able to see the water that's in it. The haze of trying to mix the brake fluid and the water together, it doesn't want to do it. So, and there she goes, there, drip, drip, dripping away. Yep, here, I'll bring you over and show you. Drip, 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 drip. Right? Over here. Drip, 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 drip. Let me show you right in there. Shove you right in there. I could go inside and have lunch and let it go, and you won't get any air in the system, because what's going to happen is this level will come down to a point to where this being the high, it will be the highest point compared to the master. It'll stop. It'll just stop. And as long as you don't have any vacuum, you're not going to get any air in the system. You leave them bleeders open forever if nobody touches anything, right? So that's what we do. You can see it's already, we filled it right up to the top. Look how much has already come through already. So, yep. It looks like it's going real slow. There's some dirt and garbage in there, but that's it. No pumping brake pedals, no needing 3 people to do it. Hopefully not a great big mess. I hate this, man. But that's it. We're just going to let it flow. We'll let this whole syringe go through, and we'll pour in some more. We'll use a whole bottle in the front system and probably a whole bottle in the rear system as well, just to make sure we got all fresh, new fluid in there. And you'll actually see a difference. I mean, you can actually see how light colored this is. You know, look at it look at the purple here and compared to how light colored it is there. So we're just going to keep going until it comes out purple. So that's it. Cool purple brake fluid. That's it. We'll bring you some more in a little bit. Take notes.